Hey there, folks. It's Reem again with another Conquest tournament video. Today we are going to be recapping round one of the August TTS tournament. I am playing 100 Kingdoms, and my opponent was playing Sorcerer Kings. That's only the second time I've had to fight Sorcerer Kings, so it was good facing off against them on the table once more. We were playing Maelstrom. Let's get into lists. My list is titled Faith and Steel, so we are playing Feast Feudal. My warlord is a feast priest with the art of war for some stalling in the early game. Send in a small block of crusaders, 4 of them, with the veteran upgrade, just so we are triggering things that care about veteran. And then we're also bringing an archangel with shield and spear, just because we want some regeneration in the list, possibly, and we want the defense 4 that shield can provide. We have a Noble Lord tricked out with a bunch of gear, essentially just so we get the 8 attacks, we get to reroll everything, the opponent has to reroll all their defense, and also we get an additional Indomitable +1 plus the Feast Indomitable +1, so we got Indomitable 2 in his unit. That Noble Lord is sitting in a Men-at-Arms unit with Seasoned Veteran, just for the hardened 1. Then we have 4 stands of Longbowmen, MSU of Men-at-Arms, and an MSU of Household Knights. We have another Noble Lord, this one with Relentless, so he gets full rerolls, sitting in a unit of Men-at-Arms, 4 of them, and then a unit of 3 Longbowmen paying for the Veteran upgrade. And then finally we have a Feast Priest sitting in a unit of 4 Sakari. This is probably the biggest question mark in the list. I just wanted another priest, and I wanted to try some Sakari, and this is how I figured out a way to get them in the list. I added an extra stand just because I didn't want to go 4 wide, because then if you lose, I just wanted that extra meat in this Feast Priest unit. Alright, my opponent has his list titled Fields of Kurukshetra. Apparently version 3 of the list. But they have a Maharaj as their warlord, running Court of Fire and Court of Water. An elemental feedback, that's the one that lets you heal every time you cast a spell, or the character casts a spell, like heal 2 wounds. Unit of 5 stands of Rajakur, 2 MSUs of Flamecasters, and a unit of Ghouls. Then he has a Raj, Court of Fire bound to the elements, so he can go in a unit of Flamecasters, Ghouls, and then 2 Rakshasa Ravenars. Those are the ones that get the benefit against monsters, so they get like Fiend Hunter and extra charge distance. And then there's a Sorcerer, Court of Air, in a unit of Disciples, and a MSU of Rajakur. So looking at my opponent's list here, versus my list, things that really stood out to me, I didn't want to fight this Maharaj in the Rajakur block. Like, that is going to be super grindy. The Court of Water gets a really good healing spell, plus bound to elements. If you can't break the Rajakur, it's going to be really hard to wipe them off the table just because they're going to heal so much. The sheer number of Flamecasters is going to be a problem because Flamecasters are just really good right now, I think. Or they're not like broken, they're just a really solid unit and decent, 3 MSUs of them, very nice. And then the 2 Rakshasas here, against my list, it means I probably got to be very proactive with my angel just because they are going to get in and hit that angel and probably kill it fairly easy. So let's get into the game. I actually got pictures of every round. I didn't miss the elusive round 5. And I took the pictures at the top of every round. So this is starting at the top of 2. So 1's already done. All the pictures are going to be at the top of every round, just so we can see how things are going out. So at the top of 2, this is before we set our decks and everything for 2. So on round 1, essentially, I brought my longbows forward. I wanted to sit on this hill. And as you can kind of see, I want to make sure both of my longbows were covering the center. And I want this one to be able to cover the far left. And then this one's here to just help zone the center and then help push up anything or push back anything that might try and, do a wide, fast push to the side. And my opponent has just put forward a unit of ghouls, seemingly on the hill here to, I don't know, maybe come and harass something in the side. Step 3, got more things to look at. We can see I didn't roll too well on reinforcements on round 2, because the only thing that made it on round 2 here was this unit of Crusaders. Since it was the only thing that came on of mine, I decided to play it nice and safe, and the Crusaders with my Warlord are just going to go on this far flank, and they are going to try and hold this zone here. My opponent has brought in the Raj with the Flamecasters here, going to contest the center. And then he's got his very expensive Maharaj with the unkillable or super healing Rajakur on this side. I quite like to see this, as that means I can just fight for these two zones and completely ignore this one. Hopefully, make it so that the Maharaj, since he's on this side of the unit, can't even hopefully get into range of shooting anything with only 12-inch spells. So we're going to try and, hold this 2/3 of the board to the left. Top 4, so we had a lot of things coming on 3. I have my Archangel in the center here, in this gap. We have the Noble Lord and the 4 stands of men-at-arms. Gonna jump over the longbows. We have the Crusaders here. They have moved up into the point. My opponent has brought up ghouls and the disciples here in the forest with the sorcerer to kind of shoot whatever comes into this zone. I got my other unit of men-at-arms with the super beefed up Noble Lord. He's gonna come here and contest the center. And the Sicario here. And then, like I said, we have this wall of no-go. So the way things are going back and forth, I decided I want to put a lot of pressure here in the center, and then also a fair amount, like my not so good blocks, my mediocre blocks will hopefully come up and push on this side, since he's very heavy on this side with his Maharaj. But I can already tell with this Raven Rakshasa and this Flamecaster here, we're going to definitely be fighting pretty heavy for the center here. So plan is to move the angel up pretty aggressively to challenge, hopefully do a charge clash on anything that comes into the circle here, if he tries to score. And then whatever comes in, assuming it's going to be one of the Rakshasas, if the Rakshasa comes in, have this unit be able to slam the Rakshasa. And if something comes in that hit this, have the Sakari here in order to countercharge that. The only thing I missed here is he's also got a unit of Rajakur on this hill, just to put more weight on this side, just because he saw I was stacking quite a bit here. So top of 5. 5, so this is at the beginning of 5, but 5 is when I do call my blessed turn. So let's see what happened on 4. On 4, I killed his ghouls that came in. He did the triple activation on the ghouls to do a move charge, kill the stand, or a move charge clash, kill the stand. I killed them back. So my Crusaders were left here. I jumped over my longbows with this unit of men-at-arms. He came up with his Flamecasters, and I think did some chip damage here. Rakshasa moved in position. Rakshasa came in more on this side. More Flamecasters on this side, and then these two are looking to help tie up stuff in the middle. So the whole plan here is this is great. When I do my bless, I'm going to have the extra movement, so I'm going to, if I have to, throw this angel away to kill the Raj and the Flamecasters. The Rakshasa I expect will come in and hit me. I'll hit the Rakshasa, and then we'll kind of duel it out from here. I'm thinking that these two units right here, the Crusaders and these men-at-arms, with the blast turn, this unit of men-at-arms can do a move charge into the Flamecasters and lock them into combat, and then this one can get pretty close to locking up the disciples. So as long as we use our blessed to hold here defensively in the clashes, if I get tied up here, we'll survive over here, hopefully kill these units off, was a thought at the time. And we'll just trade out in the center here, and hopefully I'll win with the advantage of my longbows, the reinforcements I'm bringing, and such. The one thing I have here as a question mark, you'll see as the game goes on, is I decided to, at the end of 4, the last unit I brought on were these household knights. And I brought them on this side just because the center is pretty stacked and I wanted to make sure I had enough pieces available to trade. And I was thinking I could probably get the knights in. He wouldn't prioritize the ghouls. And I could get my knights in. I won't get the impacts, but I could probably do a charge clash into the ghouls just to make sure the ghouls don't get into the side. Like, they're not the strongest thing, but I don't want the 18 attacks or whatever they do into the flank of my men-at-arms here. So that is why they went here. But there's a key thing I forgot about with Sorcerer Kings. That in hindsight, this Household Knight unit should have gone over to the left flank. I guess just to point them out now, what I end up finding out after we do start brawling here with the Rakshasas is when the Rakshasas die, they get to do 8 wounds. They're like linked to a sorcerer or something is the lore. So when they die, it generates some magic power, and a sorcerer can do 8 wounds automatically to any unit within 10 inches. Well, these guys, at the point that these start dying, are going to be in range of that. So what happens is when these Rakshasas die, it's going to do a total of 16 auto hits to these 2 units, which messes up with my math thinking on these 2 taking on these 2. Additionally, I forgot how decent, I don't want to say decent's the right word, but they're like base class 2 on these Flamecasters with a decent amount of attacks. I thought they were a little bit worse than melee. So even though I get, tied in with them and I can use Bless, it's still more damage than I thought I would have taken in the, clash phase against these 2, locking them up. So I really should have, in hindsight, as you'll see as the game goes on, these knights should have gone over to this side just to help ensure that we tie these ends off. Because Court of Fire, especially the Maharaj doing the multiple rituals per round, there's going to be a lot of, incidental healing, 2 wounds to everything. So you want to make sure you kill everything outright and you don't leave it there, or it'll sit there and it'll get slowly healed as the game goes on. So this was the top of 5. On 5, I do call Bless, so you can see this is me going into my Bless turn, and it's going to be quite the decisive, very swingy turn for me, but we're well set up. So this top of 6, this is the results of, after the Bless turn. A couple of things have happened. Now let's start from the left and work over. We took some shots here. We ended up getting broken from shooting and from the hits because, like I said, we did kill one of the Rakshasas. The Angel's down. But we did kill one of the Rakshasas, and it did some wounds here to the Crusaders. Ended up breaking them, so I don't score. End of the round, I had another questionable moment where I was like, oh, I'll just move the longbows up to score. I forgot it's only the command stand until after I moved them, so I moved shot. I should have aim volleyed. I would have got a couple more hits. I believe I shot into the Stormcasters because I definitely didn't do a move or a charge clash here. So I think I shot a couple things here, but I could have done this better. In my head, the command stand was going to be in range, but I remember on the initial turn putting that longbow where it was just so it would have shots into the edge of this middle zone here. So, bit of a misplay here. Could have stayed back at least a little bit further. Just move into barely range of the Flamecasters or just shot the cat here. So this is broken. We're just from those extra wounds that were happening. We've already lost a couple stands here too just because of the better melee stats even through the Blessed on this unit of Men-at-Arms. But this unit of Men-at-Arms is healthy. We did get pushed in. He just launched the ghouls up, killed the stand, or heavily wounded a stand, and the Maharaj I think was just in range to spellcast here. So you lost the stand of Household Knights, And we lost half a stand of wounds here, two wounds here, and we have locked our Sakari behind here. And I think it was bad enough where it was like I couldn't move forward enough. Like the back of this and like these two were spaced just well enough I couldn't even move and then side shuffle over really. I think I had to shift over a little bit. But we are holding the center. Or we're not holding the center. We do have a unit in the center, but these monsters. He scored it last turn and he's gonna score it this turn just because they have more seizing power. But this is how the game looked at the top of 6. So moving into 7, you can see now the game is sliding into my opponent's favor. Both of these units died. I wasn't able to finish off either one. There are some stands dead. Almost killed the flamecasters here, but you'll see the longbows have turned. There ended up being like 2 wounds on this Rakshasa at the very end. So I ended up having to turn to get him into arc and shooting the Rakshasa, exposing these longbowsmen to these 2. The Rakshasa also got a side charge into these men-at-arms during that round. And as you can see, I have lost 4 out of the 5 stands. Very broken here. This guy is holding the point, though. Over here, the Household Knights really start tanking and making their defensive 4 saves. But they are whiffing their attacks, so they're not able to kill the ghouls, and the ghouls are healing just a little bit when they're not broken. So at this point, I'm pretty sure at the end of 5, my opponent was very confident he was going to lose. And when the first set of 8 attacks struck me from the first Rakshasa dying, I was pretty sure that I was destined to lose, just because I was starting to do the math. I'm like, I'm going to lose this side over here. And then sure enough, yes, I do lose this side, and I know it's kind of lost here. It's just like, how much can I kill and try and prevent scoring-wise. So, this is top of 8. We have lost the longbowmen. We're holding this zone. We reformed this unit going this way because they came in to help with the Rakshasa. We're slowly maneuvering the Sakari around because they're still locked up. We did kill the ghouls, but now we have Rajakur to chew through, and there's still a fresh unit of flamecasters. And there's still this Maharaj here. So we're just kind of grinding back and forth. We go into the top of 9. He's starting to score 2 zones. I'm still just scoring 1. Can't kill the flamecasters. The knights have died. The noble lord over here has died. The Sakari did kill the Rajakur. So, very inefficient use of this unit this game has been the problem, just because all they've really done is killed that one unit of Rajakur. And then the longbowmen are still just sitting back here. So I think we called the game at that point. We just played out what it was going to be for turn 10, like he's going to score this zone and this zone. I think we might have rolled to see if he kills this, and I don't remember if he did or not, but this was the final score. So 19 to my opponent, 8 for me. Just made that one mistake, I think, or I should say, I probably made more than one mistake. I'm not that professional of a player. But the one key mistake looking back on the game that I recognize and need to improve from is the deployment of those Household Knights. I did need more threat to the center, sure, but just identifying the risk that I did by deploying them in that way, even like allowing my opponent the opportunity to essentially, block me up if they just get the charge early on the Household Knights. Kind of ended up, turning the tide over to my opponent. So, thoughts on the game? It was a really great back and forth game with some pivotal moments around 4, 5, and 6. The Household Knights, yep, they just needed to go to the left flank. And mainly they didn't because I just forgot about those 8 hits that each of those monsters dying was going to cause. And just, the clash statistics of those flamecasters. So, that's not things I'll be soon to forget from Sorcerer Kings. So next time I fight Sorcerer Kings, I'll keep that more in mind. And probably throughout the game, the most valuable unit in the army were the longbows. I feel like every battle report I have, the longbows are probably my most valuable. Probably though, because they just always are, they always got something to do. They always have something to shoot, and they tend to stick around for the majority of the game. But that was round one. We'll have round two. Actually, round two's already done. I got to record the video for it, so that'll probably be a week from now. We'll put that video out, and then I'll have round three. But until then, you all have a great one, and we'll catch you in the next video.